6 days before Passover, Jesus came to Bethany, home of Lazarus, whom Jesus had raised from the dead. Lazarus and his sisters hosted a dinner for him. Martha served, and Lazarus was among those who joined him at the table. Then Mary took an extraordinary amount, almost 3/4 of a pound, of very expensive perfume made of pure nard. She anointed Jesus' feet with it, then wiped his feet dry with her hair. The house was filled with the aroma of the perfume. Judas Iscariot, one of his disciples, the one who was about to betray him, complained, "This perfume was worth a year's wages. Why wasn't it sold and the money given to the poor?" He said this not because he cared about the poor, but because he was a thief. Then Jesus said, "Leave her alone. This perfume was to be used in preparation for my burial, and this is how she has used it. You will always have the poor among you, but you won't always have me." Many Jews learned that he was there. They came not only because of Jesus, but also to see Lazarus, whom he had raised from the dead. The chief priests decided that they would kill Lazarus too. It was because of Lazarus that many of the Jews had deserted them and come to believe in Jesus. Often when we are in desperate situations, we find ourselves praying to God for a miracle. We long desperately for Him to intervene in our situation in a supernatural way because we see no other alternative. As we reflect on John chapter 12, verses 1 through 11, we are reminded that the people who are gathered have witnessed Jesus miraculously raise Lazarus from the dead. Lazarus, Martha, and Mary each demonstrate a level of worship and gratitude that reflects the worship response God calls for in Deuteronomy chapters 14 and 15. First, the siblings host a dinner for Jesus. They feast in the presence of the Lord. Deuteronomy 14:26 says, "You and your household shall eat there in the presence of the Lord your God and rejoice." We next see Martha serving Jesus. She clings to him like an indentured servant who is free to leave in the year of Jubilee, yet refuses to depart from their master because of their love for them. And finally, Mary demonstrates the act of gratitude and worship of one who constantly remembers the great and mighty deliverance and grace of God. She gives freely with an open hand, not expecting to be repaid for what she has given. In Deuteronomy 15, God promises that when we respond to his deliverance by sharing our blessings with others, he will add more blessings to us so that we can continue to bless others more. However, witnessing and experiencing miracles in our lives is not always a guarantee that we will respond to God and to others with a desire to share from the abundance and overflow that we have been blessed with. When our heart is hardened, we respond like Judas, craving more that we can hoard for ourselves. Jesus' words, "You will always have the poor among you," found in John 12, verse 8, are attached to the command to forgive one another's debts. We see this in Deuteronomy 15:11. "There will always be poor people in the land. Therefore I command you to be open-handed toward your fellow Israelites who are poor and needy in your land." As we approach Resurrection Day, we remember the great and mighty act of deliverance and grace that God has bestowed upon us through the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. We also remember that Jesus declared the Spirit of the Lord was upon him to proclaim good news to the poor. When we remember that Jesus has delivered us from our spiritual poverty and set us free from slavery to sin, how do we respond to God's favor? Do we respond with an open heart, willing to forgive the debts of others? Or do we respond grudgingly, withholding forgiveness with a tight fist?